at you once again. I want to talk to you about, briefly about, the riots happening in Minneapolis. And even before Minneapolis, we've all seen, for years and years, as far as back as we can remember, our foreparents, the things they went through. This brutality is nothing new. And also, our enemy's tactics are nothing new. How many times have you heard, oh, I'm sorry, oh, I'm sorry, this is a horrific thing, we need to take to the streets, and nothing gets done, nothing changes. Let me tell you something about your enemy. Like the scripture says, do not trust thine enemy. For like rust comes back on metal, is the same way that your enemy is. And that goes into, Apocrypha. So do not trust your enemy. You cannot let your guard down. You cannot get caught in emotions. You can't get caught in, oh, give me a hug. Everything's going to be all right. All white. But I digress. Don't get caught up in that emotional roller coaster. As soon as black suffering happens, as soon as Hispanic suffering happens, Native American suffering happens, here comes the church bus. Here come the pork chop pastors. Here come the sellout minority leaders. And the majority of our people fall for the okie doke. Some of us aren't. We're tired of it. We've had it. We've seen the devil for who he is and what he is. Not everybody's going for the okie doke. But you cannot trust your enemy. I was at work the other day, and I had it made up in my mind. I wasn't going to say nothing. I was prayed up, thinking Yahweh give me the strength to get through this day. I feel like swinging on somebody, especially an Edomite. And so I said to myself, I'm going to keep quiet. I'm not going to bring the subject up. I'm going to go my job and go home. That was my objective for today. So, of course, I'm going into this thing. I know some, big-ass mouth Edomite had to say something. Even if it's something, well, I thought it was horrible what happened to the man, he was murdered. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. But, of course, somebody had to open their mouth. So, yeah, that was terrible, this, that, and the other. Edomites do, let me tell you something. This is a tactic. Edomites do that to check your temperature, check the atmosphere to see if you make sure that you're not going to hurt them, you're not going to swing on them, you're not going to cause them no harm. And then as soon as they throw that out there to see how you're going to react, then it's like, phew, man, I'm glad Jamal's not mad at me. I'm glad, Curtis is not mad at me, or Jerome, he's not mad at me. I'm good. That's what it is, man. Even when, in the midst of these riots that you see, and these, brothers and sisters taking action, you'll see these agent provocateurs. All of a sudden, you'll see all these Edomites mingling in with Jake. Now, how in the hell do you care that much about what happens to us when, like I said, nothing gets done? The papers are still in black and white that we are considered 3/5 of a human. Nothing has changed. So how is that you mingling with us and mingling in our movements? It's not changing anything. Esau's out there just to, get a free TV, set a bonfire. Because, like I said, these, like Professor Black Truth is saying, these Edomites love putting things on fire. They love bonfires. Hell, a part of the time, in history, and I'm not even going to say history, even in present time, we are part of the bonfire. And that's a known fact. They've been known for hanging us, lynching us, cutting off, our rods, and then burning our naked bodies. So bonfires are just another part of Esau's character. He's a pyromaniac. He loves to set fire and sit back and breathe hard, like he's jerking off or something. anyway, I digress. I don't want to veer too far off of what I'm trying to say. But you can't trust your enemy. You cannot trust your enemy. He's going to tell you everything is all right. You know, what would Jesus do? Violence is not the answer. And, you know, you need to calm down and just take your loss and, you know, take your 3 days off and then get back to work because money needs to be made. White supremacy needs to march on. Don't fall for the okie doke. Keep to yourself, say very little, walk away if you have to. Do not entertain them. They just want approval that white supremacy is going to march on and everything's going to be business as usual. That's what they want to hear. You know, and I love the book of Job because the book of Job illustrates a lot of the mind of what Esau thinks and how he thinks and how he thinks his generation after generation is going to continue in white supremacy and the destruction of the earth. This is what he thinks, that he's going to be, the eagle's going to, you know, soar on forever and destroy everything in his path and everything's going to be all white. So I'm going to go to Job chapter 14 and show you the mind that's recorded, you know, by Job according to the scriptures, the mind of Esau. The mind of our enemies, you know, period. You know, even going past Esau, you know, the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Hamites, you know, the Ishmaelites, the Elamites, you know, and so forth and so on. So Job chapter 14 started at verse 19 says, unto whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among them. The wicked man travaileth in pain all his days, and the number of his years is hidden to the oppressors. Now, if you've ever been around Edomites enough, the Edomites are weaker and spiritually and physically more weak than we are. Because I work with Edomites all the time, so every time you turn around, it's arthritis, it's workman's comp, they got to be out, is bone cancer, is, you know, this, that, or the other, whatever the affliction is. You know, like it says, the wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of his years is hidden to the oppressor. He doesn't know when he's going to drop. He's a very sickly man. A dreadful sound in his ears, and prosperity the destroyer shall come upon him. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he waiteth of the sword. See, that's what he was checking. You know, that's why he says something, this Edomite at work. They had to say something because they're afraid the sword is waiting for them. They're afraid that we're going to do to them what they have done to us. And that's a true statement. When Yahushua gets back, and even before, a little bit before then, hands will be laid on them. Blood shall be shed. Thus saith the Bible. And it's going to be ordained by our King Yahushua. Yahushua, we're just waiting on the green light for Yahushua. He believeth not he shall return out of darkness, he is waited for by the sword. He wandereth abroad for bread, saying, where is it? He knoweth that the day of darkness is ready at his hand. See, that's why he robs, kills, and steals, because he lacks resources and he lacks creativity. The only thing Esau is good at is taking what's already been created by us and perverting it, and then selling it on the market to the masses and killing everybody with it. Because when he perverts it, he poisons it. Everything he gets his hands on, he poisons it and perverts it. Like when the Native Americans used to rule America, you could cuff your hand into a river or lake and drink the water. But if you do that now, man, you lucky to make it 24 hours, man, without dying. You know, drink from a river now. Trouble and anguish shall make him afraid. They shall prevail against him as a king ready to battle. And these riots and these uprisings that is going on with Jake is causing them trouble and anguish. For he stretcheth out his hand against God and stretcheth himself against the Almighty. And how is he doing that? You know, not only has he blasphemed the Bible and try to twerp and tweak the Bible to his own glory, talk about Esau and Edom, his people, he's putting his hands on the Most High's people, the Most High jewel. So he can't physically get to Yahweh. So the next best thing for Esau to do is lay his hands on the Israelites. He runneth upon him, even on his neck upon the thick bosses of his buckler, because he covereth his face with fatness, and maketh callops of fat on his flanks. See, Esau likes to hide behind his wealth. You ever seen, it's not even a movie, it's really real life, but you ever seen them movies and video games where you had to get past a whole bunch of bodyguards, you got to get past a military, you got to get past a goon squad to get to the main character? That's what Esau does. Esau hides behind his wealth and hides behind his goons. And he dwelleth in desolate cities, and in houses which no man inhabiteth, which are ready to become heaps. See, he lives in the gated community. He lives in the, in the community where you gotta, when you drive your car up and you push the button on the press box and you gotta talk to somebody before the gate opens. That's where Esau lives. And he's got his own police force to keep you Jakes out and harass you Jakes. Because he don't want to be around you not unless you're punching in his clock at his corporation. He shall not be rich, neither shall his substance continue, neither shall he prolong the perfection thereof upon the earth. And that perfection is his perfect lies. His perverted way of life, he's perfected it. His poison his poison in his pharmaceuticals. He's perfected it to art, to where now you got to go. Go to a pharmacy and get his poison over the counter. You get his GMO poison food in his grocery stores. It's got the pretty packages on it. It's got all the graffiti on it, to catch the eye. He's perfected it. He shall not depart out of the darkness. The flame shall dry up his branches, and by breath of his mouth shall he go away. Let not him that is deceived trust in vanity, for vanity shall be his recompense. His vanity and his pride and his weapons, all that's going to backfire on him, man. Because the weapons that he's built, his nuclear capability, these other nations are going to shoot what he's created back at him to destroy him. And Job chapter 18 verse 11, terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, destruction shall be ready at his side. It shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. And the king of terrors is, Yahweh Shai. It shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. His root shall be dried up, beneath and above shall his branch be cut off. Man, his whole generation is going to be cut off, man. They're going into slavery. And even the kids that he has now are just kids that are going to be, they're going to work the fields, man, like our kids had to. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world, man. These Jakes going to be putting him to death, chasing him coast to coast, man. The target's going to be on his back. He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. They that come after him shall be astonished at his day, as they that went before were affrighted. Surely such are the dwelling of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knoweth not God. See, Esau don't know the ways of the Most High. He's too busy trying to be the Most High. So, the moral of the story is, don't get caught up with these Edomites, man. They have destruction coming. They don't have your best best interest at heart. The only thing he wants to do is, fulfill some type of sexual experiment with you. Copy your moves, copy your music, copy your swag, and then after he's done, blow your brains out and throw you in a dumpster somewhere to get rid of you. Because he's trying to be you. He's trying to be us. He's trying to be the 12 tribes. Even the animals, man, attack this man. Esau, thinks he's got it all together. He thinks he's conquered the nature and whatnot. And all of a sudden, every time you turn around, some wild animals attacking him. And if you read the book of Obadiah, it tells you why the Most High is angry with him. What's going to happen to him? The destruction that's coming upon him. Read the book of Obadiah when you get a chance. And also, I'm going to go in the book of Job, chapter 20 and 27. The heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and earth shall rise up against him. Man, the earth is rising up against him, man. The Most High got this weather. Man, the weather's all jacked up, man. 1 minute, it's 20 degrees. The next minute, it's 80. The heavens, man, are all weird. You're hearing weird noises. You're seeing weird colors in the sky. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. Man, look, man, his economy's collapsing. He's printing money. We're headed for hyperinflation. We're in debt. We're isolating ourselves from the rest of the United Nations. We're doing our own thing, making enemies with the other nations. They got their missiles pointed at us. This is the portion of the wicked man from God, and the heritage appointed unto him by God. So you reap what you sow. You bring forth slavery and destruction, death, murder, and robbery. Now it's going to come back to you. And see, now, like I was talking about these COINTELPRO people, we got our Toms in the midst of our people. We got our sellouts. But I'm talking about these agent provocateurs, these police officers and military personnel dressed up like, people out there looting, starting fires, trying to discredit our movement, the movement that's happened. And I was trying to take the focus off, the person who died and make it something else. See, these black folks out here, these Mexicans and these Native Americans out here are just tearing stuff up just to be tearing it up. They're just a bunch of thieves. And then, you got these sympathizers, like it says in the book of Job, chapter 19, verse 10, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hand shall restore their goods. His bones are full of the sin of his youth. Talking about his forefathers that started all this madness. His forefathers, the slave masters, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue. See, Esau, like I said, he's going to come to you crouching down, telling you, hey, how you doing, buddy? I don't see color. I don't see black and white. I see gray. His bones are full of sin of his youth, which shall he lie down with him. See, you cannot build a town upon iniquity, like the scripture says. The Bible says, any man that sheds blood upon the land, the man that shed the blood, his blood also shall be shed. There's nothing that this man can do that's righteous. Everything that he's touched has been corrupted. It's got blood on it. And the blood of our ancestors are screaming out for vengeance. The souls of our ancestors, like it talks about in the book of Revelation, are asking Yahweh, when are we going to be avenged? When can we get active? Father? When can we go out and avenge the death of our people and ourselves? And the Lord said, just wait a little while longer. Just give me just a little bit more time. There's things that's being orchestrated in the earth that I'm doing. And I'm going to make sure this, your enemy pay. And I'm going to get ready to close out, y'all. But don't fall for the okie doke, man. Don't fall for Esau's BS. They're not your friend. I don't need a hug from you. I don't need a handshake from you, a bloody handshake and a bloody hug. Because you got to pay for what you've done. So what you either might see do is shut the hell up, think about what you've done, and enjoy the fumes, the little bit of gas that you have left in your rulership, your wicked rulership. With that being said, I'm out, y'all. Till next time, shalom.